I just had this shower thought that maybe we're in the strongest era of teams ever. It's denoted by you got a top 10 with FAZE on the edge, on the border. If you want to go back to 2024, I think this might be one of the other arguments that, you know, we're even more competitive, stronger, or something like that. If G2 are number one, though, it doesn't make too much sense because we're not talking about major winners. If you want to scroll back, obviously, to July, which is like right after the player break, this is when Na'Vi actually get strong after winning Copenhagen. Now you have a lineup. You've got the best player in the world on the number 2 team. You have Na'Vi, the strongest. You have a very strong sort of everyone else. I would say it's definitely extremely competitive, but Mongols are not nearly as strong as they are right now. You know, you got a problem when Heroic are in top 10. Astralis actually weren't actually that competitive at all in last year. So you can see on the periphery that is actually sort of a fraudulent year. I would say this is one of the strongest top 3 in players that we've had since 2018 with Monesi, Donk, and zywoo. Vitality are number 5. Things have changed. We go back to this year. You might have best player on the best team, maybe. Number 1 is on the 4th best team, maybe. Number 1, we'll see what happens. This is so insane because you have best Asian team ever. Sort of a weird bit of context to be like the strongest team of their region is buffing out this list, but you have strongest Asian team ever who are also number 2 in the world. You have G2 who just won Blast London over the number 1 team this year without they're kind of a second mouse in this list. Extremely strong looking, extremely real looking, which is sort of what I'm doing with this list. This is more of an eye test as well. Strongest Turkish team in history right here. You have Furia who they got beat down by G2 in the playoffs. I think this might be more of a choking problem than a skill problem. I think Furia, if they played to their skill, it would have been more even. I think they're actually quite similar to G2. So we'll have to see about the results in the next events. But right now, like we look at Moldoy, maybe rookie of the year. This looks legit. Then you have Falcons, another contender with rookie of the year, potentially. You have Na'Vi and FaZe are struggling, but these are 2 rosters that can compete at a tournament winning level. Yeah, FaZe obviously may have moved in the wrong direction. We'll see with the addition of Jacob. I personally think that there is still a lot to be seen from their gameplay so far, especially if Brokey's level can continue to rise on average, though he was a bit of an onliner at this last event. Like you look at this top 10, it's fucking strong, right? If we go back to some of the early years, this for me, the strongest year ever. You have the world number 1 on the number 2 team, beating out Device, having his best year with the most wins possible. We've got that similarity between Donk and zywoo right now. You have a situation where obviously Liquid are coming up hard. It's looking kind of crazy though. You've got MIBR with Tarek on it in number 4 here. If you want to scroll back to when things really started heating up for Astralis in July, where we're talking about NRG in top 10, like North are in top 10 all year actually, which I'm sorry, but your year isn't that good if North are in top 10, right? Like our top 10 this right now is FaZe Clan and North in top 10. And like, was this year even hard? Astralis was this year even hard? North top 10 all year. NRG top 10. No offense to anybody, but I think the average level has gone up. It's not a secret how top heavy this year was. And, you know, I mean, it's top heavy and you also still have like SK here, number 7. They were in 2017, still very, very strong. Virtus Pro just fell off in 2017. We want to scroll back 1 year. They were still very competitive, but you got North here as well. Like this, we're well beyond NIP days in 2017. It doesn't even make sense that they're number 4 at this point. And I want to give Astralis actually a quick shout out for ending the year in 2016 number 1. I don't even remember this. 2015 they were top 4 before they turned into Astralis here with Kerrigan, but this is even earlier than I remember. Oh, they didn't stay here obviously. And let's see, beginning of the year, yeah, steady climb. So I'm just looking back to 2015 because that's what I can go through. But I'm saying when it comes to 2018, which is the main year where you have Astralis in their prime, Cloud9 are a team to win a major in this literal same year, which is so ridiculous. They came into the major at top 6. Then you have Simple on Na'Vi having his best year ever. You have FaZe Clan who barely lost that major, who could have had their same period. They could have missed a window to win. Like one of the most stacked lineups ever. The original sort of real super team. This was like a massively stacked lineup too, but it was, you know, more organic. This was like, let's buy everyone who was good, the best player in their period of time. And if you want to go back to Olaf Meister's period of time, which is kind of interesting, you know, Fnatic #1 with Olaf #1 as well. I think that's a top signal for the year. That was also very strong. 2015, this Envious lineup. This is pre-simple, so it's a little bit, I think there's something missing from this top 10 because of that. This is NIP post Faflaren, not quite the same oomph, to be honest. They never recovered after Faflaren, just kind of period. Like, they never really made a move that worked and then eventually failed. So, you know, even if you go 9-44, vibes actually do matter. Okay, guys? So, Illuminosity, this is right before a massive climb, so they were actually a super powerful team at this point. This G2 lineup was actually kind of sick. In number 8, it was very decent, but 2 NA teams in top 10 in 2015, is your year that really that hard? Was it really that difficult? That's what I want to know. So I'm saying right now, like, you go up to 2020, Astralis, like, they're barely clinging on. They get the top 1 team of the world, but like, you have Big at number 4. You know you've got problems. Like, your game isn't that sick. If Big and Heroic, something's wrong. OG are in top 10. Like, this made sense at the time. I was casting all these games. Oh my god, Big Clan amazing. Oh my god, Heroic. Oh my god, new stories like Gambit in 2021. But sort of like, it was a heart and mind situation. My mind was saying, wow, it's amazing. My heart was saying, what's wrong with this game if Big Clan are here in top 5 with this lineup? And like, what's going on exactly? Well, we knew what was going on, and I would say we recovered a little bit when Navi had this peak, winning Stockholm. Simple, one of his prime years. I still think 2018 is definitely his best year because of the field. Because like, look how, you know, top heavy this is. Like, up to top 4 makes sense. Everything else is kind of just terrible. Like, it just falls out at the bottom. It's just awful. It's just really hard to watch. It's just disgusting, really. Like, need I say more? Heroic, #1 team in the world. Outsiders, they don't even have an actual logo, and they were #2 in 2022. This was a miracle this happened in the middle of the online period. I mean, they got an online Grand Slam as well, so it's not like everything about their wins were perfect. We know this lineup would be good today in some way. You know what I mean? Like, we know this lineup is actually solid. That's fair. We can be intellectually honest about that. We could be in good faith and say that. But we can also say that this was a very steep top 10. They didn't have much to fight against. They were fighting against crash test dummies in this top 10 in 2021. Besides, like, Vitality, who were the only other team to win an event, right? Welcome back, Kyosuke. You know what I mean? That was the biggest next competition. Gambit don't even exist anymore. So 2022 literally didn't even happen. I don't even, this didn't even count. 2022 didn't count, besides FAZE winning Antwerp. We can go back to here, this counted. After this, they won like the longest Grand Slam in history, which is actually like a slur. That's not even a good thing. Then they fell off for like 6 months, kind of FUGAZI. Really happy that Kerrigan won that major. The rest of it was just like, all right, that's it. No sequel, no third movie, no bonus. That's it, just a major, just gonna peak and go. So 2022, I mean, I think it ended in June for me. That's what I'm trying to say. 2022 ended in June. Donk is born in 2023. This is actually very interesting. This is the end of CSGO. Monty coming up was actually pretty huge, but like, Falcons weren't real. Furia were still terrible. Virtus Pro were actually better then, but they still were struggling after winning Rio. This just isn't that strong. Only Vitality, and then, you know, everyone else just kind of failed, right? Everyone else just, it was like Apex got through, Heroic made it to the semifinals. The whole tier 1 scene just sort of fell apart by Paris, and then there was no major second half of the year. Very, very strange year as well. So 2024, like, Donk is not just born, he's like taking off the diapers, he's running, he's owning. Monacy's up here #1. You've got a very tough top 3. zywoo, Monacy, Donk. It's incredible. Very, very good. But like, if you look at every team here compared to now, I think it's actually, it's hard to say where FaZe are at, if they're better or worse, but they're not that far off. Navi are worse for sure. Spirit actually might be a little bit worse, so fair enough. I think G2 are stronger than this. I hope G2 understand, and I hope G2 fans, and I hope average fans who don't know what they're looking at can see the difference between Nico and Monacy in mobs, and everyone actually just carrying to a victory at the Blast World Final with G2. The difference between that and London that just happened with G2, absolute fucking masterclass between these 5. Not even remotely similar player quality. Peak efficiency on this lineup. They didn't have a better opper than zywoo. They didn't have a better lurker than Rops. They didn't have a better support, right? I don't even know who's support on this. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't even have a better IGL than Apex. They didn't have a better entry than Flames. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they got beat out on player quality, and London absolutely smashed through this grand final. It's unreal. I'm going to give Hunter the most credit. I'm going to give Saw the second most credit. I'm going to give Pekka credit for making this lineup happen. People don't want to like give him credit, but he made this lineup. And I was a fucking D1 athlete when it came to hating on G2 this lineup for like the way they played Counter-Strike. And that was even with, you know, Monacy, who's the player I probably cheer for the most in his whole career. And I still to this day want Nico to win his major. And I wanted this G2 lineup to succeed. This lineup is better and is actually playing insane. And their ceiling is not even apparent yet. This is just great quality CS. There's less reasons to love this lineup than there was over here. But guess what? If you actually like CS and you're watching this, you see a team that is way more likable because, my God, they're playing so much better. So we'll see how long it lasts. But like, you look at this top 10, I'm just saying, I think this top 10 is peak, absolutely peak. I think it's a little untapped because, you know, Mouse can do a bit better. Spirit, we have to see with Tanir, but Tanir, holy shit. Then G2 winning an event, Festa 5 Grand Finals over Vitality, who are struggling this season, but literally still getting good placements. It's not like they're just like disappearing entirely. Best Turkish team in history, best Asian team in history, strongest version of Furia ever since 2019. They didn't even fucking win that Rio event versus Avangar. When we're talking here about Falcons, who everybody knows, again, if you watch, you're a ball knower, you know Falcons are going to be good eventually with this lineup. Like, they have made a good lineup. They will be good. And then the bottom out is Na'Vi and FaZe. That's your bottom 200 points. This is a fucking top 10. This might be the strongest top 10 for me ever. So some of the early days, like, I think you kind of have like this, maybe somewhere around here, 2015. I'm really loving it. I'm loving it. Fucking McDonald's style. I am loving it. And then when we go up, the next best argument, you know, maybe we're actually thinking about 2018, but then the problem with 2018 is I'm looking at 2018, and when it's all said and done, North is top 10. North, they're top 10. Like, that's the problem. It's like just totally told on yourself instantly. North is top 10. How can this be the best top 10? North is top 10. That's the best top 10. Jade's Fnatic doesn't have Olaf Meister. That's your top 10. So at this point, I'm not sure. I think this actually right now, I think we're witnessing it. The healthiest, strongest, most fun top 10 ever in history. That's what I'm saying, because there's no North here.